Good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting of the City of Lenoir for Tuesday, August the 18th, 2020. We welcome you here this evening to as we conduct the business of our city. This evening we are still in the same format we've been in, and that's part of us are here at the council meeting and some are on Zoom. We're going to call roll here in just a second as we get started. We welcome everyone here. I will start out with the roll call here that's with us. And here on the council meeting, Councilmember David Stevens, Councilmember Ben Willis. I got a combination between the two. There is a Ben Perdue.
There is. It happens to belong to
Councilmember
me.
Ben Willis, Councilmember Todd Perdue, myself, Mayor Gibbons, Councilmember Ike Perkins, Councilmember John Beal, our city manager Scott Hildebrand, and our public communications director Joshua Harris are here in the room. I'll now call the roll of those who are on Zoom with us. If you will, please just answer here. City Attorney TJ Rohr.
Didn't know I'd be called first. I'm here.
Yeah. Our City Clerk Shirley Cannon.
She's here.
Is here. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Chrissy Thomas. Don't hear her. Councilmember Ralph Presswood. Is on. Thank you. Got Joshua. Public Downtown Economic Development Director Kaylin Horn.
She's not. Kyle Case is in state.
Okay, and
Kyle is here.
Kyle Case is filling in tonight. Welcome, Kyle. Thank you. Finance Director Donna Bean.
Here.
Fire Chief Ken Hare. He was here.
I see him.
We see him. Thank you. Parks and Recreation Director Kenny Story.
Here.
Planning Director Jenny Wheelock.
I'm here.
Thank you. Police Chief Brent Phelps.
Here.
Public Utilities Director Radford Thomas.
Here.
Public Works Director Jared Wright.
Here.
Thank you all. Have I left anybody else that's on the Zoom with us?
Here.
News topic is here. Thank you. Okay. All right. I believe that covers it. So thank you. As we normally do, we will get started with our moment of silence, and we will remain standing to our pledge of allegiance to our great country. As we go to this time of prayer, please keep our continued prayers for our community, our state, and our nation as we continue to battle this pandemic and many other things that are going on in around our country. Things we hope will continue to get better, and we pray for that. Please follow all the guidelines and safety precautions and wear your mask, stay 6 to 10 feet apart, and continue to wash your hands and be as safe as you possibly can as we continue to work through this. Our prayers for a terrible accident that occurred over on Harper Avenue in one of our buildings. A worker fell and passed away, and we want to continue in our thoughts and prayers his family and all those that were involved there. It was a terrible accident working on a building there on that, but we would like to keep that family and everyone in our thoughts and prayers as we go to this time, and many others who are suffering and struggling right now during this terrible time. So please, let's join now for prayers and our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first matter scheduled for a public hearing this evening is a hearing to consider approval of an amendment to the city's Code of Ordinances, Section 12-1, designation of nuisances by ordinance as related to raccoons and other disease vector species. Please note that proposed ordinance changes expand on the existing nuisance declaration and clarify the intent of the ordinance to apply to all nuisance species, including rabies vector species. The changes in the proposed ordinance are noted in strike-through/underline format. The council will defer this action until our August 25th Committee of the Whole meeting in order to comply with remote meeting guidelines as provided by the state. But I'll open the public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to comment according to this amendment to the city's code of ordinances, you can please do so now. Mr. Hildebrand, anybody?
I can provide just a little bit of background information. This is an ordinance that Chief Phelps and I worked on to essentially just clarify the nuisance ordinance.
Okay.
It's what I consider a surgical change. It doesn't change the way we've been doing enforcement. I think we probably could enforce against some of these disease vector species under the existing language, but this just gives our enforcement officers something concrete to point to in the code and be able to better communicate that to the, anybody, that a neighbor or the person that may be causing the nuisance to happen, that it was our intent to include these. I'm happy to answer any questions. I think Chief Phelps is on too, and he can answer questions.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. That was Jenny Wheelock, our planning director. Anyone else have any comments? I know that there were several areas that were having some issues with this. Actually, the neighborhood I live in, we were having some problems off of Norwood, but I understand that 6 of the raccoons have been trapped this past week in that area, and hopefully will be relocated to however they handle those situations. So we're glad to hear that, and some things going on there. So I know that these things can turn into something that we don't want, so I'm glad that we are trying to address it and help the situation. Any other comments? All right, I will close the public hearing, and we will then, as council, and I'll turn it over. Do you have any other questions or comments from anybody on the council toward it? If not, we will then defer this to our August 25th Committee of the Whole meeting in order to comply with the remote meeting. Do we need to, okay, I'll need a motion that we defer it.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Councilmember Perdue makes a motion to defer this action to the August 25th Committee of the Whole meeting, and we'll take it up then. Any other comments or questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
On the phone,
Chrissy and
Aye.
and
Ralph
Ralph.
just voted.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That stands unanimous with who was here. Thank you for that. So we'll move on then to our consent agenda item, which tonight is only one item. That's the minutes of our city council meeting of Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, as submitted. If there's any questions about those minutes or anything, if not, I
make a motion we approve.
have a motion from Councilmember Willis to approve the consent agenda item minutes of that meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
You check roll.
Do what?
Check the roll.
Check roll.
Check roll?
The two.
With that minutes,
On mine.
did Ralph and Chrissy vote?
Okay. Ralph, did you?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on then to requests and petitions of citizens, and tonight we have several that have asked to speak with us, and we'll start out. Amanda, we know you, but if you will, please give your name and address to everyone so we can record it for our minutes.
Okay, my name is Amanda Briegel, and I live at 2403 Central Drive. I don't know if I have to say that part. So I'm here as the president of the local chapter of the NAACP, and I just have a few thoughts about something that's been talked about a lot lately in the city of Lenoir. So in March of 2019, when the city of Lenoir the Main Street Department won those 4 awards, the article that talked about the awards spoke a lot about innovation and working together. And then when the motto won the award, Together We Create, Mayor Gibbons said that this is genuine. We work together to create great things. And as a very proud resident of Lenore, I advocate for this city. I applaud all the work that the city employees are doing. And I think the city is moving in a very positive and community-driven direction. However, I believe that the monument that's sitting in downtown Lenore, the Confederate Monument, I don't believe it represents any of the positive and inclusive things that this city is working on. How can we create together when something that's a symbol of oppression for so many people is sitting in a place of such prominence? The group that brought this statue to Caldwell County, a local chapter of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, in 1910, when it was unveiled, they were actively championing the Ku Klux Klan and saying it was a necessity. That same year, they were praised for their Southern heritage and, quote, thank God, white supremacy. That group's like hate, like we don't want the roots of that and those motivations to like poison the city that we love today. I think when people talk about this monument, they get really kind of violent and up in arms, and people turn against each other, and that's just not the city that I have seen and have wanted to be a part of and advocate for. And I think that we should be fighting for a city where all of our residents, no matter their race, can come together and feel safe and included and be part of this process, instead of putting our energy into protecting a monument that represents, or reminds people at least, reminds people of the brutal enslavement of our fellow Americans. And so I think that you all should invest in the removal of this monument and not think of it as a burden to think about investing in it, but think about it as an investment in the future, because investing in the removal of this monument means in the future people are going to feel more comfortable coming here to live, to work, to play, and to actually create together as equals. And so I'm just kind of here to say that the Caldwell County NAACP is in support of you guys removing the monument. And also, we really encourage you all to stand firm with an intention about the monument and to make that intention known. And there have been many decisions in the past where you guys have had resistance from the community, whether it's about putting, power lines in the ground or moving roads or whatever, right? And sometimes that resistance can be pretty hard to work against. But we encourage you to not focus on that resistance and instead focus on the positive benefits that the removal of this statue could have on the city of Lenore. And that's all.
Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate that.
You guys have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, debate, who's gonna go next?
We draw straw.
Somebody wants to do it? Who? Terry take his hat off.
Do
Tell Terry take his hat off.
That's Roger.
Apple that one there, Roger.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Roger, we know you, but if you will, give us your name and address so we can record it in our minute records.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roger Patterson, 331 Eastview Place, Lenore, North Carolina.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Roger, as you speak, you can take this off if you'd like.
Yeah.
thank you.
If you're comfortable doing
Thank you.
that.
Yeah, if you're okay. We're far enough away.
Yeah, of course, I'm here. I wanted to speak a little bit about the Confederate Monument. And so I just wrote up a few things here. So does removing a Confederate monument mean you're erasing history, as some have said? No. History is not that fragile. History is written in our buildings, our landscapes, documents, objects, and many other places, as well as monuments in public spaces. To the contrary, when left standing without appropriate context, these monuments promote a false and damaging narrative. When removed, these monuments can provide an even deeper understanding of history in other venues, such as if they were moved to a museum, that can offer fuller and more inclusive context around the people, events, and ideologies that led to the monument's creations and their relationship to present-day issues. Okay, so what about people who are proud of their Confederate heritage? How should they respond to this issue? Thoughtful, honest dialogue is essential so that those who are proud of their Confederate heritage also begin to understand the way the monuments are seen differently by other members of the community. While these monuments may be understood as part of the legacy of the Confederate veterans, they are viewed by others, including some of those descendants of the Confederate veterans, new residents, and African American members of the community, as public confirmation of an ideology that supports racial oppression. We believe that monuments in public places should reflect the shared values of the full community and should not project oppression or intimidation. People are still free to remember and honor their ancestors, whether Confederate, Union, enslaved, or free, which can be a path to deeper understanding of our shared and difficult history. There has been plenty of back and forth regarding the removal of the Confederate monuments, so let's cut to the chase. A public monument is not a piece of history, but exists to honor someone or something. Furthermore, what are we honoring? So, the Confederate States of America, which the monument honors, stood for two basic principles. What are they? First, it stood for the disunion of the United States. Second, it stood for an official establishment of slavery based on race. The Civil War monuments are a constant reminder of the oppression and oppression of the rebellious South. We feel that the monuments should be removed and they should be put up for auction and then let them be put in private places. We just don't believe they should be placed on public property. And lastly, the argument that the Confederate flag and other displays represent heritage, not hate, ignores the near universal heritage of African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved by the millions in the South. It trivializes our pain, history, and concerns about racism. It conceals the true history of the Confederate States of America and the 7 decades of Jim Crow segregation and oppression that followed the Reconstruction era. The South fought the Civil War to preserve its slave labor. The great truth that the Negro, our new government, they put in the Confederate Constitution. Our new government is founded upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. This was declared by Vice President Alexander H. Stephens in what is known as the Cornerstone Speech. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. So in short, again, we would like to have the monument removed or moved off the public property, just like, if somebody wants to fly a Confederate flag, I think that's their right to do that, but not on public property. Same with the monument. Thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you, Roger. We appreciate that very much. Should I give him a 1 or a 2? From 3? Should I give him a 1 or a 2?
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Bishop Michael Sloan, and
Bishop, would you mind giving us your address just for our record?
okay, 826 Queen Street, Lenore, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I'm here on behalf of the citizens about the stature. You know, I've been getting a lot of calls, and you know, we've been discussing it, and I've decided to come down here to get some information to take back to the community. I'm over the Minister Alliance, and I'm part of the NAACP, and like I said, we've been getting all kind of phone calls, and we want to be able to do this thing the right way. We don't want to, you know, be embarrassed like what happened over in Burke County. So, you know, I thank God for the good leaders we have here in Caldwell County. You know what I mean? That we able to talk to the people and tell the people, you know, we'll go find out and we'll bring back some answers to what, you know, what can be done. You know, and we don't need everybody running downtown starting stuff. So, you know, I can just say that I'm really proud of our leaders here, you know, because, like I said, we've seen the mess over there at Burke County, and it just, we don't want that here, you know. So the leaders, we decided that we would step up to the plate, you know, let us go find out, and we'll bring back the information back to the community and do it the legal way, you know. And that's why I'm here tonight, because the city council, the mayor, and everybody, I felt like that's who we need to come to find out some answers, you know, and then we can take it back to the community, because you know, they want to know about, you know, the statute, and you know, what can be done about it, and what are they doing? What is the city doing about it?
Are you asking that as a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Well, certainly, we don't want to engage in a long debate about this. We don't have it on our agenda tonight.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. We are researching every possible way to look into what can be done. As we discussed, we're not sure of the ownership of it. We're still researching that. You know, it was put up, as has been said, by the United Daughters of Confederacy in 1910, and we're reaching out to that organization to see if there's still any ownership there. There's a lot of things going on our city attorney is handling. So pretty much that's where we are right now. We're doing everything we can to find out all the information we can and do the due diligence toward that before we make any kind of decisions, or who can make the decisions.
Right.
That's what we're still trying to look into. So.
Okay.
I know it's not a long answer, but it's the answer that I can give you at this point,
Right.
as to what we are doing on that.
That you're looking into it, trying
Yes,
to see
sir.
what you can do.
Yes, sir. We're looking into that and trying to find out the information we can.
Okay. Well, I thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. We are still in our request and petitions of citizens time. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council? I know everyone here are our council members and staff. Anyone on the virtual call that would like to have any comments to make toward that? Okay, hearing none, thank you. We will move on then. We do not have reports of our boards and commissions this evening, so we'll move on to the report and recommendations of our city manager, Mr. Hildebrand.
Mayor, Council, a couple items for information this evening. The committee of the whole meeting will be next Tuesday, August 25th at 8:30 a.m.
They here on Zoom.
Yeah, can you pull the mic closer to you?
Hello.
Can you hear everybody on Zoom?
TJ's giving.
They're saying maybe. Can you hear me now?
That's a little bit better. Pull it closer to you there.
About swallowing it, but
Don't eat it, just get it close.
again, the committee of the whole meet next Tuesday, August 25th, 8:30 a.m. Some of that will be virtual. We'll have a meeting in third floor City Hall, but some will be on Zoom. The Foothills Regional Airport Authority will have a virtual meeting on Wednesday, August 26th at noon. And a reminder, city offices will be closed on Monday, September 7th in observance of Labor Day. And that's all the items for information. Tonight we have two items for council action. The first item is a resolution authorizing an application for lost my page. building use grant for Project Echo. The grant request will be $500,000 from North Carolina Department of Commerce. This proposed project entails a well-established manufacturing company looking to locate in Lenoir. Its operation, the company would invest over $1.5 million in building and equipment and expects to create 90 full-time jobs. The average wage of these jobs is roughly $43,000, which is above the average private sector wage in the county of $40,124. The jobs are 100% new jobs and not being relocated from another location, so all the jobs would be new. The county commissioners last night voted to go back and to provide a jobs incentive grant of $200,000 for this project, and that will go back and represent the 5% required match the city's required for this grant application. If you have questions, I'll try to answer those, but as at this time, it's Project Echo, and the firm's name cannot be disclosed.
Okay. You heard the recommendation for the authorizing resolution for this state loan grant assistance program that this company is
No, this is a
asking about.
building use grant.
Thank you, building reuse grant. This company is reaching out for. Anybody have any questions or comments concerning this?
I don't have any issue with us proceeding with this, but we're being asked to do something with very, very little information here. What's the next step to this? So we're approving the application
Right,
for the
the
grant
State
here.
Department of Commerce.
This is not the approval of the,
State Department of Commerce will go back, consider that. I think that the meeting's September 20, no, maybe it's coming up, maybe September 20th. We have a call
think
this
it is.
week on that with Department of Commerce.
Okay.
With EDC. Once they consider that, if they approve the award, maybe the full amount, maybe a portion of the amount, the company will determine if they're coming to town. And again, the county approved jobs incentives last night, so.
but for the time being, they're not asking the city for any incentive money outside of this building reuse grant.
Correct. We're part of the county sales tax reinvestment, which provides the income for the jobs incentives.
Right.
This provides the match.
And what it means to us is 90 jobs
Right.
inside the city.
Right, that's the commitment they're
and
making.
that's not my point in asking for further discussion. It's just to know the process from this point forward.
Correct. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always a little difficult when you got to be careful about all the information
Oh, I know.
that you're
It
dealing
is.
with.
It is. And we
try to put it together, and so does the EDC, but also be, dealing with how the building reuse grants and other things work with the state.
right.
But the disclosure is from the governor's office. That's
Yes.
why we can't say anything?
That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Right, they have to make the announcement.
They have to make the announcement.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. You've answered it. Thanks.
Anybody else? Any have any questions? Anybody on the call, virtual call?
No questions.
Thank you. All right, then.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the authorizing resolution.
Okay, have a motion from Councilmember Stevens to approve the authorizing resolution for Project Echo as presented. And we can do this tonight.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay, thank you. With this different way we're meeting, you have to make sure which one you can go. Anyway, we have a motion on the floor. If no other discussion, I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
On the fall?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries unanimously on that. So thank you very much. We look forward to hoping this will be a great project for Lenoir and Caldwell County as it moves forward.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hildebrand?
The next item is a resolution authorizing the filing of a grant application or loan application for state assistance for construction of the Finley Area Water System Improvement Project. We've discussed this for a number of years. Back early this spring, we had an engineer study done to come up with a recommendation. We looked at several alternatives. The estimated cost for this improvement to improve water pressure in the Finley area is $4.9 million. The grant application for this, or loan assistance, is the deadline is end of September 2020, so we want to get that in if council authorizes that so we can get the project moving. This has been our CIP for a number of years, and it's up to this year for us to go back and begin, so.
And this is to address the water pressure issues that we discussed in previous.
For numerous years, yes. You have in your packet a detailed breakdown of the $4.9 million, so. And Radford Thomas is on, Utilities Director, if you have questions, technical questions from him.
No, yeah, this is.
Yeah, all right. Anybody, you've heard the authorizing resolution for that, for the State Loan Grant Assistance Program for our construction of the Finley Area Water System Improvement Project as presented. Is there anybody has any questions for that? Anybody on the virtual call?
Is there a time limit on this with all the other stuff that Radford has to do with the water, the creek behind Yokefeller and all of that we're doing?
This is in plan, it's in our plan.
Okay.
If we get the money, or low interest loan.
Okay, that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll need a motion as such.
Make a motion, we approve.
A motion from Councilmember Willis that we approve the authorizing resolution for the State Loan Grant Assistance Program for the Finley Area Water System Improvement Project. If no other discussion, I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you very much, and that stands approved unanimously. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have any report from our city attorney, Mr. Rohr?
No, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I do have some recommendations from the mayor's office tonight. We brought this up at our last council meeting and presented them to you, recommendations. So tonight I would present these to you for reappointments and some new board appointments that we've been working on, trying to get our boards back up with some members that have either retired from the boards or whatever happened, moved. But reappointments would be to the Lenore Business Advisory Board, Patrick Longano, to the Planning Board, Lucy McCarl, Board of Adjustments, Lucy McCarl as well. As you know, the Planning Board doubles with doing the, not only the Planning Board, but they do the Board of Adjustments as well. That's two boards, but it's the same group that does that. For the Lenore Housing Authority, Reverend Charlie Rivens. And then some new board appointments to the Planning Board, Mr. Kent Greer, to the Lenore Business Advisory Board, Mr. Darren McKinney and Gonzalo Vasquez, and to the Lenore Housing Authority, John Francis. I will make these recommendations to you. As you know, we always try to have great members on our boards, and I think we do. Very proud of the not only what the council that we do in recommending these people. We watch make sure their attendance is kept up with. We make sure they're contributing to our boards. It's not something we take lightly. We work with those who are over the boards, such as the LBAB board and others, to make sure that these members are contributing, that they care about our city and county and work together to make this the best place possible. So I'm very proud of the boards that we put together. We're always trying to look for diversity in every way we can, so I'm always proud that we can have people that will meet those kind of situations for us as well. So,
And Mayor, I would add that there is an application that if anyone's interested in being on a particular board, that they can go to City Hall, they can contact City Hall and put their name into the group to be considered if you've got some interest in any of these boards.
yes, that's very true. We have an application process, and that's very open. We can get those to you if you'll contact City Hall. Shirley Cannon will get that information to you, or I will, or any of the council members can. We'll be glad to talk with you and reach out for anyone who is interested in serving, and we encourage that.
It's also online.
It's also online. Thank you, Joshua.
.com/boards.
Okay?
Thank you. We appreciate that as well. So anyway, I present these to you.
Do them all at once?
Well, we can do it once, or if you want to do them however you'd like to do it.
Go ahead, do them all.
I make a motion that we approve the mayor's reappointments and new board appointments as is in the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Perdue to present for the reappointments and the new board appointments as presented for our boards. If no other discussion, we'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
And all opposed? Thank you. That carries unanimously. We certainly appreciate that, and we will get this information out to our reappointments and our new board members, and I'll ask our department heads who work with these boards to reach out to these members and give them the information, the meeting times, and the backgrounds and all the things. I know these people have studied that, showing the interest in it. We've talked about those things before they even will consider it. After we get their applications in, we reach out to them and make sure they know that what it takes to be a part of a board and the membership that's required and their things. So hopefully all these will work out very well, and we look forward to that. Thank you so much for that. Now I'll move to any reports and recommendations. Any of our council members? Anyone have anything to discuss? Ben, how about from the school system, your side of it? I know you.
Kind of
working with it.
indirectly, I know, again, I'll just preach the patience out there. I think I've been able to attend some meetings this week, and it seems to be going really well. I feel very good about what I've heard from their side. It's just my perspective, but there are going to be hiccups, and I think they know that, and I think they're dealing with them well, and I think the community is dealing with them well. I mean, it's just a tricky time, and they're doing the best that they can. And from my perspective, I think they've done a fantastic job. I mean, I've got 2 kids in the system, and in tricky situations, and with the Caldwell Connect, and I think the teachers that they're learning from have done a great job adapting. And from what I've heard, for those that are in the hybrid, it's the same deal. They know it's different, but it's an interesting time. So yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, I was going to let John, if he has comments, since he's right in the heart of it.
Yeah. Well, I think what's been great so far, at least at my school, and from what I'm hearing from my colleagues around the county, is that students and parents are being very compliant with the COVID restrictions, and that's a great help because that compliance allows us to get to the teaching. And I think the Caldwell Connect has been very popular with a lot of the population in our county for various reasons, whether it's medical issues or they just feel more comfortable being at home. And so having connectivity is an issue in some of the rural areas, but we're still working on that and making sure everybody's got a device. But I've been really pleased as a teacher to be working with the kids again, and the kids are happy to be back at school, and we're going to keep moving forward and do the best we can to take care of our children.
Yeah. We've certainly been proud of our school system, our school board, our superintendent. They've worked hard as they can to figure out every way they can to make this work, and watching all this information and data that they have to put together. And I tell you what, it's a tough job, and no one knows, so we just have to play it and hope that everybody will follow and do the things they're supposed to do right now to stay as safe as we can across the state. But we appreciate them very much, taking care of our children every day. All right, is there anything from any of our department heads on the line, that anything you'd like to add or bring to us tonight? Anyone? Don't hear anybody, but thank you guys for what you're doing out there every day. We know that you're still having to work through a lot of deals and to keep up with things. I know our police and fire and public utilities, public works, recreation, planning, everything, downtown. It's all, Kyle, I know it's tough, and with what you've got going on too, we can't plan anything. You try to plan and move forward, but right now it's just all on hold till we can get to better times. But we are proud of that. We've had some seating downtown. We hope that people are going to enjoy the tables that are there on the square. They can go out and get food from our downtown restaurants and take it out onto the square and sit out in the nice fresh air out there. We're glad that we could be a part of that. We have tables coming that have been ordered that hopefully within a few weeks we'll have some new tables with our Lenore logos in them that will be in the downtown, and we'll be proud of that as that moves forward. And Farmers Market is operating and on the weekends, so if you want to get down and do that, that's something that I know we're working with here in the city. So Joshua, anything from communications that you know of while you're here?
I think people are getting off Twitter.
Okay.
I see Twitter numbers going down.
Okay.
So I think people are getting off that platform.
Well, good.
That'll be a bad thing.
Yeah. All right. Unless anyone has anything else to bring before us this evening, which I don't hear, we're going to stand adjourned.